Hi, I'm Jo. Welcome to my studio garden of yoga. I'd first like to send out a big heartfelt namaste. Thank you so much to my regular students and friends who've brought their energy and enthusiasm to class and supported me in my dreams this year and every year. And this is also a gift to anyone who might be cruising around the internet with tight muscles in need of a spiky ball massage. The spiky balls are something that I bring into quite a few of my classes, and I've always got a really good response from people. It's felt really helpful for a lot of people, and so this is just a little video that you can do at home anytime your tight, knotted up muscles need a bit of love. Alright, I'm going to jump out of the hammock and come on down to the floor, and I'll see you soon. So there are a lot of benefits to working with the spiky balls. Like a massage, they can help to release a build-up of fascia, like a knot or a trigger point in your muscles, which can be from training but can also be from being sedentary. And if those knots stay there, they can pull the rest of your alignment out of shape, restrict your flexibility and your movements, and it's just uncomfortable. Like a massage, there are some muscles that need a little bit more of a firm pressure and some that respond better to a lighter touch. And like a massage, you might personally like a stronger action or something more soft and relaxing. And I've got a big family of spiky balls. This one is probably the most versatile. It's got kind of rounded spikes and it's not too hard. And this is one of the ones that I sell at my studio. I've got this big crazy one, which is great for standing on with your feet and challenging your balance, but also you can do some fun core work from it, lying down and twists. These are the bongers. I also sell these guys at my studio and they're great for the self-massage. These ones are not official spiky balls. I just got these at a sports shop and they just happen to have eyes and be my favourite colours of pink and orange. And sometimes it can be useful to not have spikes. You can get a little bit deeper. And because they're small, you can find your way into some more kind of nooks and crannies within the body. When you're working with the spiky ball, you want to work on massaging your muscles and your connective tissues. You don't want to press on the bones. You also don't want to put any pressure on the nerves of the body. So if, as you're working, you can feel a strong sensation, but you can still breathe through and you can still relax into, that's what you're looking for. If you feel a sharp pain or something that feels stressful for your body, that's not something that you want to continue with. And also, this is not a substitute for a professional. So if you're working with an actual injury, or if you're pregnant, definitely see if you're pregnant, get a prenatal massage and get their advice, because there are some places in the body that you don't want to work on. And if you're seeing an osteopath or a chiropractor or a physio, just ask them if it would be appropriate for you to work with the spiky ball so you can continue to massage at home. Always practicing with ahimsa, so practicing with kindness rather than force. I've read some articles that kind of use language like smashing up the muscle knots. I'd rather you focus on a sense of releasing tightness and tension from the body, so you can still work strongly, but just mindfully. I forgot. I've also got this type of spiky ball, which is great for the massage along the spine. And for the people who are working with a more soft approach, this one's great. It's got softer spikes, and it's actually said that working in a softer way allows you to get to deeper muscles and deeper layers of connective tissues. If you push really hard, your muscles and tissues can get agitated. And if you do find a knot as you're working and you just kind of roll over it fast and are aggressive with it, your body might respond by creating more tension. Working on your feet, it's actually a time when you could use a stronger, spikier ball. And just as you're making your way through, as well as being good for your circulation and for lymphatic drainage to kind of get the extremities of the body moving and working into those tight spots, If you've ever had a shiatsu or a Thai massage or reflexology, you'll kind of feel those unexpected tight spots, as in those traditions, each part of the body is represented by a different part of the foot. Sitting like this is the most stable way to do this, or sitting in a chair. If you want to feel a little bit more intensity and you can keep your balance, you can also work standing. One ball to start, and if you really want to challenge balance, you can do this at the wall. 2 spiky balls. Perhaps hands on the wall just to get yourself started, and then relying less on the wall as you walk through the balls like you're skiing or walking on a stony beach. So moving on to the calves. You can definitely work 2 balls at once if you have 2 balls, and lift yourself up into an incline plane or upward facing plank pose. 2 is a little bit harder to coordinate than 1, so if you want to work with a little bit more precision, just working 1 ball, supporting with your other leg for lighter pressure, or if you want to go stronger, stacking that leg on top. And you don't necessarily have to lift yourself up with your hands, you can rest here. You can point and flex the foot to work deeper into that knot. You can also experiment with moving side to side or working the outside of the calf, and it's pretty hard to massage this tibialis anterior muscle, and this is one way to do it. Avoid the knee itself, but working up towards it can be good. So moving on to the thighs. Like the calves, you can do this 2 hands at once, just making sure you keep good form through your shoulders and upper body as you do that. Or you can explore a little bit more, turning that leg out. This is a good place to work the ITV, but if you've got a particular knee injury or if this is a really tight spot for you, you might want to invest in a foam roller rather than the spiky ball, because it just rolls a little bit more easily. Thighs are also a really good place to use the bombers. You can massage them yourself, or you can get someone else to do it for you, and calves as well. You can also use the spiky ball to work on your quads. It's a little bit more of a challenge to find the position, and just make sure it's not going to be a problem for your other knee. But you can place it and you can roll forwards and back. And if you've got the flexibility, you can take it into a deep lunge, and that's a pretty intense but productive place to work. And like before, if you feel like you find a bit of a knot or a bit of a tight spot, take that time to really massage into it and release into it before we move to the glutes. So the wall's a really good place to start working on the glutes, because you've got the most control of how much pressure you can use here. This is a place though where if you do want to use more pressure, that can be really good. You could use a tennis ball for a softer action, or one of the firmer, smaller balls, or one of the more spiky, harder balls. And you can just feel your own way through here, and when you find a place that feels like it needs a bit of work, just pausing there, breathing into it, releasing into it. If you want to stay for a bit longer, or you want to feel a stronger pressure, you can move to the floor and just explore from here. Or if you want to go deeper still, I've got the ball underneath my right glute, so I take my right ankle to my left thigh, and this position really opens these muscles up, and so you can go a little bit deeper with the spikes. And again, if you find a place that needs work, just pausing there and breathing into it. If anyone's working with any lower back issues, just making sure that you can keep your lower back in a position that's going to be comfortable for you here, because sometimes it does end up a little bit rounded. There's also another way you can work the glutes with 2 balls. I'm going to stay with these ones, but this is also quite a good one to do with the small balls with no spikes. Come to lying down, and you could just work with your knees bent, but Supta Baddha Konasana is a really nice position for this. And you can experiment with the placement of the balls, try and have them symmetrical, and obviously use 2 balls of the same size, or taking it a little bit deeper by lifting your legs up. You can also move the legs around a bit to explore a little bit more into it. And then just using your breath to help those muscles release more and more into the massage. So you can combine massaging your glutes with a twist, just placing the ball and rolling your legs over it. And you can experiment with the placement, and you might find as well that you actually get a little bit more out of your twist as well, because you're a bit elevated, you can go further with that rotation. This is also a really good chance if you happen to have a massive puffy spiky ball. This is where it gets its time to shine. You can sit next to it and roll the legs over, and that twist feels amazing compared to the floor. And if you do happen to have one of these, after your twist, you can just do a really beautiful passive stretch for your back and get a really subtle massage from those spikes. I don't tend to use the spiky balls much on my hands, but a really nice thing to do instead is just finger stretches. Just pulling each finger back for a couple of breaths, and be gentle with them because they're just little muscles that you're stretching here, but they will appreciate it. In theory, you could use the spiky ball on your forearms if they're getting tight, but what actually works really well is just to use your other arm and still working from the extremity back to the center and trying both hand positions up and down. And some people even use their knee for this rather than their upper arm, but arm's usually enough pressure for me. A really nice way to use the spiky ball on your arms and shoulders is working with the twisting cat pose, Parapiti Majariasana. So your ball is waiting for you there, and you just inhale as you lift your arm up. And then as you breathe out, sliding that arm under, positioning the ball. And so you can just work along the outside of the arm. And again, just pausing and breathing into any sensations that you feel here. You don't necessarily have to roll too much with this one. It's probably going to be more productive to kind of stay a little bit longer to allow these muscles to release a little deeper. And so you can definitely work up the spine and around the shape of the shoulder blade, kind of following that curve. Change the position of your arm as well to give you access to some other spots, and just move the shoulder blade out of the way. Another really nice option here is to take Garudasana. Got the ball on the right side, so my right arm lengthens out. Left arm can bend beneath. And then while you're here, this has kind of opened up some new places for the little spikes to massage into. You can also travel around the shoulder and along the arm at the wall, or if you want to massage the front of the shoulder, you can work this way. If this is feeling a little bit awkward, less twist is fine. If you want to make it more intense, adding more twist, being aware of the placement of your other shoulder and your spine as well. And this is definitely something you can take down to the floor if you want to go a little bit deeper or stay a little bit longer. You can definitely do a lot of good work for your neck at the wall. Being gentle as you work your way around here. But another position that we've been working in class with the neck, which is really deluxe, 2 spiky balls and 1 small stability ball. And even the small stability ball on its own is a beautiful way to just encourage those muscles of the neck to release. You can do gentle moves from side to side, or a gentle tilt forward and back. And if you don't have a stability ball, you can do this from a pillow as well. You can also take these 2 spiky balls either side of the neck and find the spot that works for you. Just pausing here and breathing into it and releasing into it. Or again, doing those gentle movements from side to side. Be gentle if you're working your spine from the floor because you've got your body weight resting on the ball. But you can traverse, you can roll yourself along the balls. This would definitely be a good time to use softer balls or less spiky ones. You can pause and just let your body weight soften into the shape of the ball and release the muscles there. I've got the balls between my shoulder blades now, and I can do some arm movements to take me deeper into this massage. And always just working with that element of relaxing and release, rather than being aggressive or smashing up your body with those spiky balls. And so just like when you've had a massage treatment, after your own spiky ball massage, it's nice to give yourself a little bit of rest and relaxation. If this is something you've done just after your training, you could have a nice hot shower or a bath. If it's part of your yoga practice, this is something you could do just before your shavasana, just lying down and relaxing afterwards, or it's a great thing to do before your meditation practice, just to start to bring your mind into the body, into the present, and physically roll out any of those little niggles that can become distractions in your meditation practice. I'm going to hang out here for a little while in my aerial hammock, so I'd just like to thank you all for joining me on this video. Wishing you all namaste. If questions came up, or there's feedback, or there's things that you'd like to see in future videos, let me know, and I hope you enjoy.